Good evening and welcome to Speed Force Racing Division 4. We're here in the Sunshine State where we are in Division 4, where SFR Vicar has taken back the championship lead ahead of Billy G in the Aston Martin and the Ferrari, and that title battle is going to get interesting tonight as we carry on our trip across North America at the minute in a triple header in the Americas. Not just the United States. We were in Canada last week where it was an exciting race. A wet to dry qualifying caused chaos across the grid. Billy G starting last and dropping a lot of points due to that. And we carry on in Miami and we will finish in Vegas next week. We're in the Sunshine State though, around the newly built Miami GP, of course, first race in 2022, which was won by Max Verstappen, if I'm not wrong in stating that. The track, of course, a very, very long straight, which we are going down now. It's not much of a straight, it's more of a lines and corners, not much of a straight, but it is a straight at the same time. We have a DRS zone, of course, down the straight, which, of course, like in Jeddah, where it is just multiple straights with DRS zones, but they are a bit curvy. And we come through to the really tight sections in the middle part of the sector, really tight chicane, and a really slow speed section to slow the cars up before a long blast down the back straight towards a hairpin and a final two sweeping corners. The track built around Miami, the Miami Dolphins Stadium, the Hard Rock Stadium. Of course, the Miami Dolphins, the only NFL team to go a full season undefeated in NFL history. But we are not caring about NFL at the minute. We're caring about the track around it and the racing that is about to ensue around this track, as well as smooth operator in the Williams starts his lap into turn one. Very tough turn one, off angled, and it's just so hard, so easy to lock up, and then it's turn 2 and 3, sweeping corners, and you just got to try and follow a car, especially through this next section where it is so easy to just get an invalidation, very easy to go around, and we'll see him come through. It's winding, it's a bit uphill, bit downhill, which can unsettle the car a bit in the long left to end the first sector and to an awkward traction zone there on the exit. Coming down, you just got a long straight sweep and you've got to stay in the slipstream of the car if you're looking to overtake into the, I can't really call it stadium section because we're around the entire stadium, but the racetrack stadium section, where it is just a long right. It just feels like it's going forever and you've got to cut back across the track for a left, get on the brakes as quick as you can, try and minimise the curbing and cut it as much as you can without unsettling the car, and you've got to just get back across, and it's corner after corner after corner. It's an onslaught of corners there, and you're getting a nice little break down the straight. He goes and you can see the highway come back off and down into the DRS zone and the final hairpin of the track. You brake just at the end of the speed trap and it's into the corner you go. And you come out, bit of an awkward traction zone there as well into the left hander, right hander. You want to keep it as close as you can to that inside to get the time in line. It's a 30.0, sorry, for the Williams to start off our session tonight. Dylan Vince is not going to be the next one. It'll be not his teammate, it'll be the Red Bull of Wakey Joe to come along next. And Brass Monkeys in the Haas, a 27.6 for Wakey Joe to start this lap. Silver Fox follows along. James Z Killer is another person. He's up to P3. Just trying to find out who will be next. It'll be one of the Ferraris. It's going to be John Mobes in that number 7, P7. And he goes to P1 there, 27.3 for a starter lap for him. He beat Billy G's lap, who went to P3 looking to reclaim the championship lead tonight, as Williams as well finishing off a lap. That looks like Dom's going to come into the pits. Is he on a qualifying ban, or he may have just invalidated the final corner? Of course, very easy to do. Doran's done the exact same. He's into the pits. McLaren's across the line. That looked like Preb. He's going to go to P5. Is Preb there? Matt G, last week's pole sitter, will come now. Matt G in Canada got a P3, first podium of the season in Division 4 for him. He's going to come across the line, slotting in as a P4 on the second row grid so far. His dad, the Vicar, coming through to into this tough, slow speed section now. He comes through, left-hander, round and round and round the right-hander. Very easy to spin, very easy to make contact with the car in front as well, and straight onto the brakes around the corner. Very easy to lock up, cut that chicane, and gain a 3 or a 5 second penalty, depending on how quick you take that run-off area. Purple sector 2 for the Vicar, our championship leader. DRS will be opened now, about halfway down the straight. And it's easy to just keep it going, keep it going. It's very easy to go for an overtake. You're going to see a lot of dive bombs into this hairpin over this current week in SFR with Division 3 and Division 2 and Division 1. Of course, and underneath the stadium shadow, he'll cross the line and he'll go to P5 ahead of Alex Haig and just behind Mad G. Couple cars on an outlap as well. Dom is one of them. Preb coming to the line. Looks like he's going to be into the pits. Mad G is going to follow along as well. Wakey Joe's on a lap. Through the slow speed section, he's got a car on his right that looks like Dylan Vince on his outlap. And you can see the lift that car got over the curb and through the slow speed section underneath the motorway, or the highway as they call it in USA. You can see the exit ramp there and they'll all come down straight away, and that would be an interesting overtaking spot in Formula 1 if we did indeed race on that, which would be a very, very weird sight to see. Nate Creed goes to P11 ahead of his teammate in P12. Wakey Joe coming out the final corner is going to go into the pits. The Vickers on an in lap or possibly a charge lap. And speaking of a lap, James E. Killer's on a lap in that V carb. He comes down to the final corner now on the braking zone just past the speed trap. Slowing the car as much as he can, getting that rotation through. Easy to get a bit of traction loss on that exit. Of course, a lot of spins happened on that 22 game with a lot of less traction. Dylan Vince's teammates are just up the road, heading through this sector 1 now. Through 5 and 6 and 10, 7, that long, continuous left. And you want to know where to brake. You can probably lift through the entire thing, save a bit of fuel as well. But a purple sector 1 for Dylan Vince so far. That may just be a false hope from the game. Heading through the DRS zone, you see him come around that corner with the DRS wide open, and we'll see a lot of overtaking down the straight. Who picks what line is a very important one around here. Dylan Vince won in Japan. Of course, that is his only win of the season. He's got 2 podiums overall. He got extremely unlucky in Canada after being in the podium position and in the lead for quite a bit of the race. He made contact and spun, which would have been his 3rd podium in a row if he did come home to claim it after a P1 in Japan, P2 in Qatar, and it would have been possibly a P2 or P3 in Canada last week. Come around the final corner, final proper braking corner. He's going to come into the pits. Doesn't feel like he can get a lap together that would be competitive for him. Doran is on what looks to be a competitive lap. DRS flap shut. Little lock up on that inside. He has a hash to his inside though. That looked like readouts. It was readouts indeed. The right hand, we've got to cut straight back across. Dom 2 provisional pole, 27.3. 1-3. Doran over that curb and sausage curb on the inside. Very easy to, I've said that a lot. Very easy to go over. And it's just, you're going to see a lot of penalties through there. And it could, again, like the last 2 races in Canada and in Qatar, it may just be a race to see who gets the least penalties. To be honest, I mean, hope not. It could really destroy the race, but we'll see a lot of racing, a lot of overtakes into there, and a lock-up for Doran again. He needs to ease off on the brakes just a little bit. Trail braking could be an option for the Aston Martin, but it doesn't bother him anyway. He goes to P7 ahead of Alex Haig and slotting in behind the Vicar. Only 1/100th of a second is the gap between those two. Preb 2/10 up through sector 1 at the minute. Coming down the straight, DRS wide open on that McLaren. No flex wings tonight. Under, just underneath the bridge, he'll start the braking. Just get the rotation through this corner. Little snap for Preb. You'll see quite a few snaps through here, possibly. As we'll see, Carson, he's knocked the bollard there. That is well, we're not going to see a bollard in the race. That'll be knocked over very quickly. And my prediction is lap 2, 1/2 up is Preb. That could put him up to P8. It's going to keep him in P9 for now, unless he can gain a bit of time on the exit, or can just gain a bit of time in general. Nice exit for Previn. Little snap again on the exit. And it looks like he was snapping a lot, and that could be interesting if there is a bit of rain, of course. The Miami and the state of Florida known for very, very wet times. Sometimes with the hurricanes and just shaky weather in general, especially through the Everglades. It can get very wet around here. Haven't had a wet race in real life, haven't had a wet session in real life yet, but we may see one tonight. Or we'll stay the Sunshine State and stay sunny tonight, and we'll see John Mobes coming to the line. He's currently P2, lining up on the front row for once again. He's going to stay in P2, cannot improve his lap time. John Mobes looking for his 4th pole position of the season. That will put him on par with Doran, who is currently in P7. Both of them have been the qualifying masters this season. When it comes to mastering the racecraft, though, it's been Vicker and Billy G, 4 wins and 3 wins apiece, and 9 and 8 podiums for the both of them as well. Billy G only 6 points behind him, and he can take the championship lead tonight with a win. And even if the Vicker gets a podium, Billy G would need to get P1 with fastest lap, and the Vicker to get P3 at a maximum to take the championship lead. On, or would it be count back? I'm not too sure, because it would be the Vicker taking the championship lead, but they will be on equal points heading into the night race of Vegas. Wiki Joe on an outlap at the minute. Matt G, of course, on an actual lap. He has a car in front. That looks like to be a V-carb. Of course, no team orders in Division 4. No team orders in the F1 game of anything, due to the fact, well, not really connecting the two teams. Looks like it may be Dylan Vince in front or James Z Killer. Can't really tell, but he's going to have a nice, lovely tow through the next couple sections. Will he have an OT, possibly? Will he just turn the ERS off, back off, and go for another lap eventually? He's currently behind that V-carb into the stadium slow section. This is where he's going to lose a lot of time. Slightly wide from the car in front. And this is what we're going to see a lot of through this section. We're going to see a lot of following. And a lot of cars not really side by side, and he's going to get a lovely, so he's 5/10 down. Don't really see much improvement for him there. Wakey Joe was on a lap, and look at who else is on a lap. It's not James Z Killer, so it was Dylan Vince in front. Operator on a lap as well. Dylan Vince will be the first one to cross the line. He has the Rebel behind of Mad G. Just coming out the final corner. You can see the hill where you can lose a lot of traction. Into the pits goes Mad G there. In the background, you should just see him shot off to the right, and Dylan Vince goes to P15. James Z Killer, his teammate, we're literally on board with now. He's next across the line. He's trying to get as much tow as he can. Heads just past the speed trap braking. About 100 metre mark. Those brakes are very, very strong on those cars. He's actually going to pit. He's not going to set an improved lap time. He may be down his lap. That is why he may pit. As Doran starts his lap. Operator not improving. Brass Monkey's 3/10 down and over the curb, and he goes. Going to see a lot of that as well. And Nate Creed perfect through that section there as well. Alex Haig in the Alpine is past Doran, who is going slowly through sector 1. And right on board with Alex Haig instead. The Alpine came so close to a win last week. Got P2. Overtaken on the final lap by the Vicker. Sorry, it was Alex Haig who took the win last week. My apologies on that one. The Vicker got P2. The Vicker did cross the line in P1. I'm just going to go back on the stewards find and see what did happen. So it was a 5-second penalty for the Vicker, which lost him the win. It would have been an even bigger gap in that championship lead, but due to that penalty, it was P2. So the collision with Dylan Vince knocked him out of contention for the win. Alex Haig, a 10th and a half up through sector 2. I said purple on the timing charts. But we'll see when he comes around the final corner and crosses that timing line. 3 minutes to go. We dip under that now. At the final corner. really the final braking corner. This is the final corner now. With how the track is as well, you line up at an angle like Las Vegas. Alex Haig to P3 goes to the second row of the grid, and behind John Mobes and Dom, who are on their final out laps of their sessions. A lot of these drivers coming up one final run. Billy G's gone for another double out lap. He seems to have perfected that this season. It's got him a lot of success. Monkeys and Night Creed just coming through the final corner now. They'll be first to set their laps readouts as well. Night Creed into Brass Monkeys into the pit. Sorry, Night Creed coming to the line now. He is going to not improve either. He's going to go for one more lap. Dylan Vince comes out the pits. May have left it a little late. 30 seconds to go. Well, not 30 seconds to go. Over 30 seconds. So 2 minutes to go. And it's a 1 minute 30 around this lap on an out lap. John Mobe starts his lap. Alex Haig. That may have been his final lap unless he can get a charge together. Billy G coming through that middle sector now. Let's see what he can get going. Now he's gonna heavy on the brakes. It's a 90-degree corners. That is something we see a lot of around here. 90 degrees. And blind apex like there. And now. And that was more or less perfect over those curves. Not too sure on the rest of the sector. We only cut through him halfway through. He is 4/10 up at the minute. And now he needs a really strong final 2-3 corners. He's got cars behind him warming up. Is that the Vicar behind, or is that John Mobes? That is indeed the Vicar. The two championship rivals are going to cross the line next to each other on their final runs of the session. And just under a minute now left. This is going to be the final run. Billy G goes to provisional pole. The Vicar goes to P4. So that's 1-0 to Billy G for tonight so far. Will they be next to each other though? John Mobes looking to reclaim pole position, his 4th of the year. Could be coming up at the final corner. Traction going, ERS going, and Alex Haig out of the session. That's his final run. John Mobes to provisional pole now. 27.0, 2/10 quicker. Dom through the middle sector, a 10th up as well. He's got Doran in front on an outlap. Does he have the time to get across the line, Doran? That is the big question. Silver Fox retiring on in the pit lane as well. Cars on track. Mad G's one of them. May have crossed the line too late, or he may have already finished his lap. Dom is 5/10 up. This could be absolutely blowing out the waters by that Mercedes, and he comes out the final corner through and dipping and round, and he goes, and he's going to go to pole position, provisional pole position, by 7 thousandths of a second. And a great lap there, and the two championship rivals next to each other. What can Mad G get done? He looks like he's done for the session. Doran got it across the line, and James D. Killer's going to be first. We'll ride on board with him as he crosses the line. Preb 2/10 up, P9 at the minute. Can he move up and down? Move up or down? He's got to set a strong lap now. And he sets a P8 lap time. 2:2.20 is the improvement. Doran, not much improvement shown here. James Z Killer, 1.94 up at the minute, 3 sector 2. He's going to go to the line, P10 for him. Doran, the place ahead of him. What is he going to set? As he comes down, he's at 0.21 down on his lap time. The man with 4 pole positions. He's not going to claim another one tonight unless he can pull out a perfect final sector later on the brakes than anyone else, earlier on the traction than anyone else. And it doesn't look like he's going to pull that magic out, but he's going to use the last of his ERS. You can see it draining on his MFD. He's going to go to P8 behind Alex Haig and ahead of Preb. And the pole position goes to that man there, Dom, in the Mercedes. And Dom is going to claim his 2nd of the year, looking to convert into a second win and a 4th podium win in Brazil. And he's had a lot of pace this year, hasn't converted it on the right time sometimes. And the Mercedes on pole position once again in Miami. Fake Harbour on the inside, of course. Famous Fake Harbour on that inside. Quite funny. And that is qualifying. Dom is on pole position. John Mobes is P2, Billy G P3, Vicar P4, Mad G P5, Wiki Joe P6, Alex Haig P7, P8, Doran, one of his lowest of the season, Prem P9, James P12, P10, P11 was Silver Fox in the other McLaren. As we'll put it now. And it's a wet Miami, and it seems like I have given a bit of a curse here. Sunshine State, not so sunny tonight. And it's a bit wet, known for its storms. It's very fierce storms, is Florida. Hopefully, by the looks of it, it's just Inter. Depends how hopeful we get. And it may possibly dry up later in the session. Well, we will see, I guess. It looks like the mediums. Look in the garage. Mediums look impossible for John Mobes. It may be a dry start. Of course, we had last week in Canada a mix on the first runs in the qualifying where it was wet to dry. Inters were faster at first, but then you had inters and dries on at the same time, and it actually put them on the dries at first on the wet track because of how quick it would clear up. And to run down the grid, it is Dom on pole position. P2 is John Mobes. P3 is Billy G. P4, the Vicar. The two championship rivals occupy the second row of the grid. P5 is Mad G. Wakey Joe is P6. Alex Haig at P7. Outside chance of a championship is Doran in P8. He's only 30 points behind at the minute. Exactly 30 points behind the Vicar, 24 behind his teammate. Preb is in P9. P10 is James Ziller, other McLaren, James Z Killer. P11 is the other McLaren, Silver Fox. P12 is Smooth Operator. P13, Brass Monkeys. P14, Dylan Vince. Night Creed, P15, and Readouts is on the final grid spot tonight. And we'll see them come around the formation lap. It depends who's risking it, who's brave enough to go for it. And we should get underway soon enough. And there we go. One light on. And the light is away. And we're underway on the formation lap. It is dry tyres in the wet. And now this is going to get interesting. This is going to be a crazy start. The game, of course, has given everyone dry tyres. So Dom, P1 on the hards. I'm surprised no one's gone for... I'm surprised that everyone has not gone for the mediums. The higher grip tyre, of course, is going to give them a lot more grip in this first stint. Dom feels like he has the pace and the grip on those hards, however, so he's opted for the hards. Wiki Joe in P6 on the hards as well. James, Smart Operator, and the two Hasses and Night Creed, both Williamses and both Haas are on the hards. So Dom will lead them away. And this is going to be an interesting one on the start. Who can get away well? Who can stay in those positions well? Who's going to warm the tyres up best on the formation? Like, you need warm tyres, especially in a condition like this. Greasy track, wet rain coming down onto those dry tyres. How hard does it rain as well? Do we go into conditions? You can see a dry line forming there on the racing line. It's wet there. You can see him cross into the dry line. It's a bit later on the track. You won't be able to see it as much now, and you just see them all weave and trying to get as much temperature into those tyres. You'll see a couple burnouts as they come round those final 2 corners, 3 corners as well. And you can just see the later dry line coming through, where the cars will have to strictly follow to avoid any incidents. But the advantage is to Dom and all of those on the odd numbered grid, so 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 on the drier line, the wet line on the right, and the off-centered line, not the off line, the non-racing line on the right. We're going to come through now in a wet track. It's going to be 4 lights in Miami, 5 lights in Miami, and it's green. It's a jump start for Wakey Joe in that Rebel. He's going to get a mega start. It's Dom instantly covering off John Mobes into turn 1. They go up the inside goes Wakey Joe, and there's slight contact. There's a Ferrari going round. That's Vicker right at the back. He's made contact with an Alpine and a Williams, and there's a couple cars going round. Dylan Vince with a penalty, 10 seconds. Preb in P11 up, and they're all sliding at the back, all off of the braking zones, and they're all sliding through that first sector as well. Wakey Joe P4 with the drive-through. He's going to have to save that as quick as. That's 2 weeks in a row without a jump start. Last week it was the man in front of him, Billy G, and you can see how wet it looks on the track. You see the rain coming down, and Brass Monkeys P8, Doran P7 up already. You can see a couple cars coming down, overtaking each other. Dylan Vince is the one with the 10-second penalty for causing collisions with Operator in P15. That Williams there, and this is up the inside. It's going to be for readouts by the looks of it. Dylan Vince may having a look, and the other Haas 2. Round the outside goes Preb, and this is going to be the bottleneck for these couple drivers. Dylan Vince wanting to look around the outside. He's going to look up the inside now. Indeed, that is a close one. Preb gets the move done on readouts around the outside, and now they're all going to bottleneck into single file neutral for the V-Carb there. He's very lucky to get it going without bogging down. Good exit for readouts, good exit for Preb on the mediums, and the mediums are going to be an advantage here. John Mobes didn't get the best of starts on that inside, on the inside line into turn 1. That's expected with the wet patch being there. And it's readouts late on the brakes, up the inside, makes contact with Dylan Vince, and they're all going down the escape road. 2 of them, it's a pair of bowling pins there, and they get going again. Alex Haig struggling, especially there. You can see the snap he has out the final corner. Billy G on the back of John Mobes. He's going to look it up the inside into the first sector. No overtaking opportunities through here unless it's into turn 1. Nothing going for the Aston Martin. Looks like Dom is pulling away. Maybe Dom has less downforce compared to the cars behind. Smoth Operator's onto the inters already, so he's gonna. We'll see if he goes faster than anyone else. Vicker up to P10 on a comeback drive straight away after contact into turn 1. He's overtaken by Brass Monkeys again. Those two looked like they were going side by side. Speaking of side by side, it was Monkeys and Nate Creed. And those two seem to have sorted it all out. Vicker has the Williams chasing him down. The Haas is chasing down the Williams as well. And we're going to see a lunge up the inside. Can he get it late enough the brakes? Can he get it stopped? He can. That was a nice move by the Haas, and he's up to P11. Now chasing down the Ferrari ahead, who's not long overtaken him himself. Doran looking to get James C. Killer, who's up 4 positions off that start. Wakey Joe still yet to serve the penalty. Position change for is James C. Killer. He's our highest jumper at the start. Biggest loss for the Vicker, who started P4, just behind Billy G in P3. Dom goes very wide, however. Will we see DRS? That is the big question. Because that is the... And we will see DRS. You can see DRS is enabled. That's going to cause even more traction loss. Billy G fastest lap of the race. Wakey Joe into the pits to save his drive-through. Doran chasing down James Z. Killer now in the V-Carb. And the 2 McLaren swap positions into turn 1. Any team communication there? Possibly not, as one goes wide. Preble looks very deep on the brakes. They're going to have to try and defend from the charge and Vicker after a poor start, after contact into turn 1. It wasn't more of a poor start, it was more of a contact start for the Ferrari. He may have picked up some damage as well, which is the interesting one to see. Who did have damage from that turn 1 melee from a couple cars going off into that escape road just on the outside of turn 1. Billy G past John Mobes. Will it stop raining? I'm really not sure. I haven't had any confirmation. I'm as blind as the viewers here, and the only people that will know is the drivers themselves. Smith operator picking up a 3-second time penalty. That's the first time penalty of the race. Very easy to do around here, especially through turn 7 where it looks like he may have picked it up on those intermediates. They're going to start to overheat a little bit. You can see the dry line coming through. Currently, you can just see where it's a little lighter on the road. Dom is nowhere near that dry line, and that could cause a bit of traction loss there for him. Better exit though, then the Aston Martin. Now the overtake is going to come into turn 10, it'll be. Track being as new as this as well. It's an interesting one to see. Miami, of course, the next round in the real life calendar, and along with that, in 2 weeks' time. Through 7 and through a long turn 7. Dom just doesn't have the grip, doesn't have the traction, doesn't have the bite from the tyres. Through it and out of turn 8 they go. Down the long straight, 9 and 10 and 11. Overtake will come well before that though. He's going to get it before the DRS. And Billy G takes the lead of the race. Operator on the inters going fastest. Is that the intermediate faster than anyone else at the minute then? Looks like it's starting to lighten up a bit. And the Williams fastest of anyone at the minute. He comes through sector 1. Wakey on a comeback drive as well as the Vicar, of course. Both of them happen to deal with issues. Both of them were in the top 6 due to a jump start and contact into turn 1 for, well, Wakey Joe got the jump start. Contact into turn 1 was the Vicar. They're down multiple positions so far. Billy G heading into turn 17, the 19 turn corner, and he's going to go up the inside as Dom, and there's contact, they're both in the wall, and that's damage to Billy G. And Dom just so late on the brakes, hasn't had it all race, hasn't had it in qualifying, and Mad G takes the fastest lap of the race now. Mad G in prime position along with John Mobes to pick up their first wins of the season. Up the inside goes Dom, contact rubbing tyres as Mad G looked up the inside as well. And Dom takes the lead of the race, and you can see the rain has stopped. The answer to the question is, will the rain stop? Absolutely. And that is the interesting one in this one. Inter's fastest at the time. It looks like the mediums are going faster now. We'll find out when operator crosses the line, and it's going to be no, it's the mediums. Well, the dries are faster now, it's dried up, and you can see the damage to the front wing on Dom. You can see it better now through this corner. And you can see it there, end plate missing. Is there anything missing off of Billy G as well? He went into the wall, and you can see an end plate missing on his car as well. Will they get that swapped at the pit stop? James Z. Killer and Doran going side by side. Through the middle sector, and through the slow portion, Doran has to just fall in and behind. Down the long back straight. Will Dom have a look into the final corner? No, he won't. He's wide again though, and that is going to be the issue for him. He's going to go wider and wider, especially with that damage to his front wing. That's downforce for him. And John Mobes takes it, and oh, Mad G looking up the inside into turn 8. Or turn 7, heading into turn 8. Dom cutting the corner. Very poor exit, and there we go. Mad G takes it. Takes P2, very close to the wall though. Does the Mercedes force the Red Bull? It's all clean so far. DRS for him, and he's going to take P2 back. Here comes Billy G off the inside though. He's going for P2. where he was before the contact, and he's not going to get it. Willie G. George coming through P3 at the minute. They're going to have to chase down John Mobe, still looking for his first win of this SFR season. DRS for all of them heading down the straight. James C. Killer still under pressure from Doran for that P5 position. Number 2 or 3 of them. 3 drivers for 1 position. Mad G will pull through in that first sector, but we may see a dive up the inside from Tommy, who's been late on the brakes into turn 1. He's not going to go late on the brakes this time. Dom up the inside. He's going to go into that middle sector. No, not the middle sector, the first sector, the first section of the first sector. He's not going to go for it. He's going to back out of it. He had the better traction, but he goes very wide. He may lose a lot of time. He's going to get a better exit though, due to the wider entry and the easier to get on the throttle again. He's going to have a look into turn 11. And G's still trying to push down into that DRS of the Ferrari ahead. He's not going to have it so far. And those two still fighting. Just holding on to each other by the looks of it for now. Doran can go on, and he's getting a lot of people in the chat. Louis is one of them saying go on Doran, and another person saying go Doran. He's still P6 at the minute, P5. Ahead of him is James E. Killer. 2 of them fighting, have been fighting for a majority of this race, and it's Doran just hasn't been able to crack it so far. John Mobe setting the fastest lap of the race on those mediums. It's just going to get faster and faster this track now as the rubber gets laid down, the more grip gets laid down, and Dom in P4 picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So he's gone off the track multiple times, 3 times in total it is in the game, and he picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's got another 3 times before he'll pick up another one. And he's trying to push as hard as he can. He struggles through turn 7. He's done it all race. He struggles through the final corner. He's done it all race, and that is why he has some damage. And Doran, like he's pulled a little bit off. Of Dom. Not Dom, sorry. James E. Killer has pulled a bit on Doran, and the Vicar is now on Doran for that P6 himself. Huge lock up for Doran. You can see the white smoke coming off for him. James E. Killer coming through this very tight section. He needs a perfect one. And he looks to have had a perfect one so far. And Doran looks to have had an exit on him. Will he go for it into the final corner? Doesn't have that ERS built up. I've got the telemetry on. Not really supposed to have that. Just forgot about that one for a second. And my controller's dead. Thought I had a charge before the race. I do apologise for this. Totally on me. Doran, no overtake so far. The Vicar's going to be on him soon enough. Vicar set the fastest lap of the race. He is the quickest man on track at the minute. Improved by the fastest lap. Lost my water. The Vicar now putting pressure on a recovery drive. He started P4. Then obviously with contact into turn 1, dropped far. And there we go. James C. Killer picks up a 3-second time penalty. The poor exit. Doran's now on the back of him, and is finally going to crack and get that P5. Sorry, not P3. He's going to get P5 back from James C. Killer. He's going to have to go round the outside though. Smart from the V-car to push him there. Turn to the inside for the next corner. He doesn't have it. Just didn't have the straight line of speed over that V-car, but he's now got a hungry Ferrari behind him. He's going to have to get a better exit out the slow speed section. He's going to have a long straight to get a lot of slipstream, a lot of DRS to go with it. Looks like there's an overtake coming up ahead as well. Dom is going to go for P3. He's going to take P3 back. James Zekiller hanging off a P5 at the minute. While one Aston Martin gets overtaken, another one's looking for an overtake into the final corner. Will he go up the inside? No. Not brave enough on the brakes. And locking the brakes once again, and John Mobes is getting quicker and quicker at the front. It's just a nice little DRS train here for these. Vickers on the back of that Aston Martin. You can see on the helicam here, this is a brilliant camera through this high speed, medium speed section. You see them all fly through it. Around turn 7, the long corner. And he gets out of it into turn 8. Not a good enough exit for the Vickers to have a crack into turn 9, 10, 11. Might not be close enough for Doran either. He looks like he's just far back. Billy G gets past for P3 again. Doran's being forced to the outside. Will he switch to the inside at the last second? No. He's forced to the outside. James Zekiller forces him out there. Doran's still there, kind of closes the door. He's up the inside. And the Doran... Oh, not the Doran. The door slams shut. He kind of shoved him off the track there. Just hard racing between them. And it's good racing between them as well. Doran finally getting that P5, finally into the final corner, final braking corner. He goes late on the brakes, slight contact between the two. The Vickers looks like he's made contact with James as well. Poor exit though. He gets the DRS. They'll all have the DRS. Well, both of them will have the DRS on Doran into turn 1. It's going to be interesting. Will Doran defend? James Zekiller up the inside, late on the brakes, way too late on the brakes. Doran getting the switch back. He's going to have to go for it up the inside in the middle sector. Not middle sector, turn 2 and 3. Doesn't get it done. It'll turn to the outside and he's going to hang it on. It'll turn to the inside and then the outside again for turn 7. He gets the move done, Doran, in turn 7. James is going to come back at him into turn 8. No, he's not. He's going to wait for the long straight to get his little bit of his revenge. A little bit of his revenge into turn 10 and 11. Into 10, 11. Just really have the later brakes, and Doran forcing him to the outside. Doesn't have it. Does James Zekiller? He wanted to go down inside. That is the key around here. Just can force it off, and a double inside corner means you'll more or less have that position secured. Hards are going to start getting faster now. We'll see Dom start to pull a bit as Billy G's actually pit as well. Completely glossed over that one. Billy G pits, first one to blink. Coming round as James Zekiller gets the move to back done. The Vickers dives into the pits. He's the first one out of these three to pit. He's going to go for the undercut with the fresher tyres. He's on the hards. 10-second time penalty for Pred. He pits 2. Wakey stays out. Silverfox stays out. Dylan stays out. And Alex Haig pits 2. He's on a comeback driver. And a lot of drivers are offsetting positions. And Mad G is just dropping slowly and slowly. But he is looking for his second podium in a row. Is that man in the Red Bull? Seems like he's got it so far. Seems like he'll have it for the rest of this race as well. He's pulled out a lot of time on Dom. As we come through onto lap 12, near and half distance, Doran and James still fighting. James is up the inside though. He's going to go later on the brakes. Doran latest. Doran slightly wide, and he's going to force him round and round, and he's going to see if he can get the better exit. No, can't bully his way around, and he doesn't get it done. Doesn't get the move. James Zekiller has a lot of speed down the straight and into the final corner. He's going to go up the inside. Doran can't do anything about it. He's got so much straight line speed. John Mobes into the pits from the lead onto the hards. Doran follows suit as well. James staying out for another lap, well, another couple of laps on those hard. Dom staying out on those hards as well. Does Matt G have pace over him though? It looks like he's pulled out 2/10 on that last lap. Just looking up and down the field. Billy G is now behind Dylan Vince. He's going to have to get that move done in a swift fashion. He's going to go up the inside now. I'm not going to have a look at it. And there we go. Slight slide for Dylan Vince. And Billy G looking for an undercut for the lead. Did he have his front wing changed, of course, as well? And we'll see it. Yes. No, he didn't. So less downforce than the car ahead. Well, no matter what, he'll have less downforce than the car ahead. Doesn't mean it'll translate into the straight. It just means the cornering speed is going to be a lot less for him. And there's contact, and that is Billy G in the wall. And James Killer picks up a penalty, and that is a lot of damage on Dylan Vince's car. And is there much damage on Billy G too? We're not getting the camera angles to see. We have to pit again, and we're not getting any camera angles so far. We can see the damage on Dylan Vince. Nothing so far, and here's a good angle for it. It looks like both end plates are lost on that Aston Martin. There's no end plate on it, so that's a lot of downforce lost. He's got the Vicar not too far behind him now. Oh, there's the end plate, so he's only lost one. Matt G into the pits, exiting now. They've lost a little bit more time to John Mobes just ahead. As the Wakey Joe goes past, Billy G way too far behind. He's just not near enough to have a little go with him. Wakey Joe with that drive-through, just ahead of his teammate where he was when he took that drive-through. So he's pulled back in later in the stint. And it's a race of missed opportunities for a couple of drivers. Speaking of opportunities, here's an opportunity for P7 for the Vicar. He gets P7. And now he's going to have to chase down man in front of him, well behind him in the championship, Billy G. Vic goes slightly wide, however. If I'm not wrong in saying he hasn't picked up a single penalty all season, on track penalty, due to like going wide and picking up a 3 second. He's picked up a 5 second. That was the last round. He made contact with Dylan Vince, and that's 2 races in a row he's made. Dylan Vince has had contact with a championship rival of all of them. James C. Killer and John Mobes fighting through turn 1. John Mobes, fastest lap of the race. G just behind his teammate. He's wanting to get past as quick as he can. How quick can he get past him though? That is the question. Matt G's got the DRS. He's going to get him into turn 11. You can see turn 11 coming up. His teammates forced him right to the outside, and that's just because he's letting him through. I believe he's going to have to chase down on the 3-lap older hards than the car ahead. He's got the Vicar 4 seconds behind them. They're all coming through. Doran's past readouts now. Doran on the fresher hards than the Vicar. Does he have that pace though around this track? It's a very certain driving style around here. You can see there's still a clear racing line when it is available, and the DRS won't be there for the Aston Martin this lap. It might not even be there next lap. He's got a lot of time. He's got about 3/10 to pull in one lap. And can Billy G pull out a gap on the Vicar as well? Doran needs to get as close as he can to the Vicar, but Doran needs to figure out that locking up issue he has first. We're over half distance now. readouts into the pits, and the hard runners are going to start trickling in one by one. One of them's going to be Dom, one of them's going to be John Mobes, not John Mobes, one of them's going to be James Z Killer. And we'll see. It's all kind of settled down since these pit stops. Night Crew picking up a 3-second time penalty in P11. My prediction of it being a bit of a tough one in terms of penalties was a complete, well, lie so far. And we're only just over halfway. See what does happen in the second half of the race. G just chasing down the Red Bull now. Wakey Joe. Just ahead, he's got less downforce than the car ahead. And that dirty air isn't going to help him. He's got one Red Bull to get past before he gets the other. Can he pull it in? Well, can he pull anything in on the car ahead? Breaking the toe. One Red Bull is. You're only allowed to move twice. He moves twice. Dom into the pits. John Mobes, fastest lap of the race. And Billy G is just there. Will Dom change his front wing? He's not going to change it. Mad G takes it. Takes P2 back. Well, will be P2 when James eventually pits from that P2 position. And the Vicar may actually be ahead of Dom here. This is going to be an interesting one on the exit. Dom stays ahead, but he's on the newer tyres. He's on colder tyres, and he has a less downforce than that Ferrari. The offset strategy for Dom. Not going to be interesting to see. Can he pull it in? Vicar now looking to get past Dom straight away. He's wanting to get past as quick as he can. Past that damaged Mercedes, and he's going to go up the inside. He's going to have to go up that inside. No, he's not going to go later on the brakes. Dom, latest, more grip on those tyres, of course. So it's better. Better grip for him, which is, of course, what he wants. Down the long straight, it's over 1 kilometre long. You can see it now, DRS enabled for the Ferrari. He's going to have to get past as quick as he can. He's got Billy G ranged up behind him, he's got Preb not far behind too. Look at that, both of them look quite quick. Not Billy G, it's Doran behind him, sorry. James Z Killer finally pits onto the mediums, and that'll be 12 laps on the mediums for him. Vicar not close enough for a move into turn 1. He'll have to be close enough for turn 11. He's got a lot more grip, a lot more front end. He's got a lot less grip, he's got more front end now than the Mercedes. That's barring if he didn't pick up any damage, like side pod damage, underfloor, rear wing, or diffuser through the turn 1 incidents. And coming through, we'll see now, down the straight, he's a lot closer in the purple sector for him as they come down towards turn 10 through turn 10. 11 now, they'll head to not close enough. Is the Vicar yet to have a look? He's not going to put a little bit of a nose up the inside. See that quite a lot. Nothing to do yet. Doran trying to just close in a little bit closer. Can't seem to manage it so far. He's got Preb behind him with a penalty though. James Z Killer behind him as well. Has a penalty, does James, and Vicar is not going to follow the toe of Dom. He's going to have to get it into turn 1. He's going to have to get a better exit. That's hard to do with the tyres, or he can just sit behind, use the fresher tyres that he has, use that DRS he's using as well, and just close in on Billy G and overtake him and extend the championship lead ahead. Or he could sit behind, keep the championship lead, and get a P4 with the penalty. It looks like he'll be better than P4 when Dom eventually looks to be passing Billy G. 11 to go around Miami. Not too long. But a lot of time still to make a lot of overtakes. There we go. Vicker can't seem to get it. Can't get close enough. No, not much happening up and down tick. Just these two are the closest together on track. But Dom has a lot more grip, a lot more traction. And that is where the Vicker gains. You can see through there, through sector 1 and through that section. Through the tighter sections where it's harder to turn the car for Dom. Just can't get it compared to the Vicker. And now it's going to be interesting. It'll be Dom with the DRS soon. Well, I say soon, it'll be right now actually. He's going to take DRS onto the next lap. You can see how later on the brakes he goes, then Billy G ahead. Does he fall under the effects of dirty air though? That is the big question. Especially through turn, well, not through turn 1, through that first section of racetrack where it's just constant windy corners where they just keep coming at you. You think it's over, it just keeps going and going. And it's especially this corner where it goes and goes and goes. And eventually they get going again. And Dom just has the DRS. Vicker now may have already lost his chance to overtake. We will see what does happen. Coming through. We've had a bit of a snag in the race. And now this is going to be the interesting battle. Does Dom get the overtake done? Does Vicker get the overtake done? And now this is important. This is going to have championship implications. And we'll see. Here we go. Into turn 17. Up the inside goes Dom and he gets the move done. Does have a 3-second time penalty. Can he pull that out quickly though? Does leave Billy G in the DRS though. And we'll see, turn 1. This is the interesting one. This, does he stay ahead for one more lap? He's going to force him up the inside. No, cannot get it done. Doesn't have it done. Through sector 1 they go. Billy G picking up a 3-second time penalty. That is not what he wanted at all. He's got the Vicker in front. He's got Dom in front as well. And now this is a race for position for Billy G. He had the 3-second time penalty gap over him. That leverage over Dom, and he doesn't have it anymore. He's now got to get past the Mercedes on track, and it looks like he's going to get it done. Round the outside. He's gone round the outside before, and we saw the contact, but with no contact now yet between the two. They head through sector 2, over the curbs, through the slow chicane, underneath the highways, underneath the overpasses, and onto the long back straight, heading into turn 19. Dom's going to get the move. The important one is can the Vicker get the move, or does he just sit behind, use that 3-second leverage he has, or does he try and push on, get Mad G, get a bit more advantage over him? And the Vicker currently on for a net podium. Mad G on for his 2nd podium of the season, and John Mobes 12 seconds clear at the front for his 1st win of the season. Can they all hang on for another 7 laps around Miami? The semi-street circuit, partially streets, partially a parking lot, partially a permanent racetrack. We head back onto the public roads of Miami, and you can just see how close they are, and there's an overtake in the background. That is the Vicker getting past Billy G as he fell out of DRS, and they're still racing away into the final cut, into turn 11, and Billy G later on the brakes. Vicker up the inside, contact between the two. And the Vicker gets the gap ahead, and he gets the overtake stick. There was contact between the two, Is there damage to any of the cars? More front wing damage possible for Billy G. Any damage to the side pod of the Vicar. He's back into the DRS, of course, to Dom. He's back onto that podium for now. DRS is opened for all those cars down into the final corner. Turn 17, and another car under pressure is Doran. He's got Preb behind and James not far behind. Both of them on 3 seconds though over the Aston Martin, which is the most important thing for it. Into turn 1, Dom picking up a 3 second time penalty. That's the second of the race. Big lock up for the other Aston Martin of Doran, and Doran now into P5 on the road due to that another 3 second penalty. So we will pull into P5 and possibly pull into P5. 6 laps around the track to go. 6 tours, 6 more attempts, 6 more hairpins for cars to go through up the inside. Preb needs to pull through and pull 3 seconds. James Z. Killer needs to pull up and pull 3 seconds along with that. And for now, they're not getting it done. Preb, so much more grip than that Aston Martin. It's coming through, and the DRS, the long back straight. James Z. Killer looked to have a perfect exit there over the 2 in front. Dom and Vic are still fighting up the road, and it looks like the Vic has taken P3 on the road. Up the inside goes James Z. Killer into P6 now. Doran with a big lock up. Preb up the inside as well, over the curb, bouncing. And those 3 still fighting for a P6. Vicar and Dom still fighting as well through turn 1, through turn 2. And Dom's taking P3 back on the road once again. He's still fighting for it, and the contact with the ball there for the Vicar. Doesn't want to brush that too often. James trying to now pull out 3 seconds. He's got 6 laps to do it. 5 laps to do it. Vic, underneath the shadow of the stadium, and out of the shadow they come. Doran is just there, very wide for Preb, however. And you'll see where the traction comes in for those mediums over the hards. Doran with that slipstream, with that DRS, he's going to pull right back, and he's going to pull right up to the back of that V-carb. Dom and Vic are still fighting as well. James and Doran, the fought earlier in the race. James forcing Doran to the outside many a time before the pit stops, and nothing so far. Dylan Vince, 3 second time penalty in P13. Not the race he wanted after contact with Billy G in the mid portion of the race during the crossover of the strategies, and he forced him onto an earlier pit stop. Vicar and Dom still fighting for the position. P3 on the road. Doran, another lock up in that final corner, could open him up to Preb, or could open him up to losing the DRS to James. Into turn 1. Off 25 or 29 for these. They've just started it. There's this yellow flags looking along the circuit. Who was that? Maybe Dylan Vince in the slow underpass. Slow under the overpass section. Let's see how much grip. James Z. Killer used 6 tenths, 7 tenths was the gap. And you'll see him pull it out through the corner, and it looks like actually Doran's pulled it right back through turn 8. And he may have a chance to have a look around the outside again. He can't though. A lock up there. No contact is needed for Doran. He's P6 for now. Billy G spur up back into the fray of the P3 battle. There's Dom. He's looking to go up the inside once again into the final corner. Turn 17 for him. It's been a bit of a hunting ground for him. He's done it a lot in this race. Will he do it one more time as they enter lap 26? Onto lap 26 they'll go. Up the inside, Dom. No, he's not going to have a look. He's going to go late on the brakes. nearly into the back of the Vicar, nearly run into the Ferrari. That would have been disastrous for the man in red. And into turn 1, it's going to be interesting to see. Does he go defensive? He's going to force him to the inside. Dom goes later on the brakes. Does he get the move done? There's contact slight wide for the Vicar. Through turn 2, through turn 3, they're still side by side as they come out of the first section. And they're side by side. Into turn 4 it'll be. Vicar has that inside line. He's got that position straight back. P3 on the road, still his. Billy G is right there though. Through turn 7, through turn 8. And you can see exactly where he's struggling. Is Dom. He cannot get the traction or the front end in that turn 8. G now on the back of him. Looks like he's charging in, as you can see the flashing lights. They don't want to go for a move unless he's down the back straight, but it looks like he's going to be forced into one. Around the outside. He's going to look for it. No, he's not going to get that angle. He's going to have to wait about another 4 or 5 corners for another opportunity to get past the Ferrari. On the road for P3 it'll be John Mobe. Starts lap 27 once again, in the lead by 16 seconds now. He's just pulling out. He's absolutely dominating this race so far. Dom is going to look up the inside for P3. He's going to go up. No, he's not. He's going to back off. He's learning. P1's the answer for him. Vicar has the opportunity to use DRS. It's a very short straight. Is the run down into turn 1. Up the inside he goes. Is the Mercedes going to get it done? We'll see them come round, and he gets the move done. P3 for Dom with the 3-second penalty though. Is it an important one for him? The Vicar gets the better exit. Vicar looking around the outside into turn 4. No, turn 5, 6, and the long left of 7. So he's going to pull it in. And on the exit into turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, and then eventually the breaking point of turn 11 is the opportunity for the Vicar. Billy G's behind. He's looking to get an overtake as well. Vicar is going for one. And here we go into turn 11. Vicar's got one move done. Round the outside, Dom is forced to go. Very wide he goes though. Billy G's through. And Vicar and Billy G on the road now, fighting for that P3. Over the curb, over the chicane they go. The dip out of the corner. It'll go sliding on the exit. Here's Billy G. DRS, and it looks like James Z Killer is getting brought into this fight, possibly in Preb 2. And they're all fighting in the end for this, for these positions. P7 is now Preb's on the road. We're back to this lead battle. Billy G just doesn't have the grip so far. Does he let Dom into turn 1? Because Dom seems to have the Vicar's number through these corners with the traction he has, with the better tyres, with the fresher tyres. Then that Ferrari just doesn't have it. Does Billy G? Medium seems to be better so far in the end. And it's, as we head round for the 28th time. And here we go. Turn 7, turn 8, and he's lost the DRS. So Dom's going to have a look into turn 11. Can he pull it back in? And that'll be an exciting final lap for the Vicar, and a very stressful final lap for him as well. James is ahead for now. DRS on Preb's car. On that McLaren he's got DRS. And the Aston Martin is just chilling behind. He knows he's got the positions in front. He needs to keep it on the road though. All 4 within the 2 whites. Operators out of the session after pitting. Billy G. There's another one who needs to get a move done, or get a defensive move done. Dom and Billy G. Dom with the 6 seconds though as we enter the final lap. John Mobes has started it for us. Late on the brakes for Dom. Doesn't seem to have it. And the turning point in this race was between these two through that turn 17. And it was contact between the two with a Dom move up the inside. And Dom going for a dominant move around the outside this time, not going to pull it off. Billy G has his number this time. Can he pull it out on the final lap? Can he get that position on the road? Of course, it's not going to turn into that on the road for him, though. James Z. Killer's pulling them forward. Doran needs to pull a bit faster on this final lap. Get a bit of a move on to have a chance at P5. You've got P6 in the bag for sure, though. And it will cut to John Mobes soon as they come round and down turn 9, 10, 11 for the 29th and final time. And for the 29th and final time, and his first time this season, John Mobes enters the final lap in the lead. Not only has he led this race for the majority of it, he's led it dominantly by 18 seconds. He's going to win for the first time in Division 4. John Mobes wins in the Ferrari. And it's in dominant fashion from Mad G, who is himself quite far ahead of the car behind. The Vicar on a great comeback drive. Definitely my driver of the day for now. But can Dom just get it in? Mad G P2. The Vicar's going to come home in P3. Dom can't seem to get it on the road for P4. But Billy G will come home in P4. Preb is going to come home in P5. Preb has a 10-second, of course. Doran comes home in P5. Dom in P6. P7 for James Z. Killer. P8 for Wakey Joe. P9 for Preb himself after the 10-second penalty. Completely forgot about that one. Redoubt is P10. Alex Haig P11. Silver Fox comes home in P12. P13 will be Dylan Vince as he comes down the long straight here. Brass Monkeys in P14. Night Creed has already crossed the line for P15. And that is the end of the race. P1, John Mobes for the first time this far for him. And the podium of John Mobes, Mad G and the Vicar, all three of them. Mad G for the second time in a row. John Mobes for his first win of the season. Driver of the day will go to the Vicar though. After carnage on lap 1, and the game seems to agree with me. After the carnage on lap 1, he's managed to pull himself from P14 all the way back to somehow ending up on the podium. And it's a well-deserved podium and a well-deserved championship extension for him. And it's a double Ferrari podium for the second time this season. It's an all-Brit podium as well. So Ferrari pull the gap in on Aston Martin in the Constructors in the Teams Championship. And it's the Vicar who pulls out a bigger lead in the front of the pack. John Mobes, P1. Mad G in P2, P3 for the Vicar. P4 for Billy G. P5 is Doran. Dom P6, James Z. Killer P7. Wakey Joe P8, Preb P9, and Redoubt is P10. And that will be it from Division 4. Division 3 still ongoing around Miami. Division 2 tomorrow night as well, which will be led by Jamie in Division 1 and Division 2. And he's currently leading Division 3 as well in the commentator's position. And that will be it from Division 4. We'll be back next week in Vegas. A USA doubleheader, an American tripleheader, all North American tripleheader. And we'll see next week. Goodbye.